That's good.
So just kind of working through some little odds and ends. But we had remember the brake plugs I showed you the other day? They look like these. They went on there. They were wires dangling. Well, I didn't want to just put them wires, but connect them basically to the other wires that come out. So I figured, why not pull out our nice kit and go ahead and give it a go. So I just put this little pigtail together for it. So that side goes onto your brake switch and that side's a Deutsch connector. And man, I'm telling you what, dude, if you hate wiring as much as I do, go get this. But dude, this thing's nice. And then you can order this tool, and it just makes it so freaking easy. Like, it is crazy. You just slip the barrel in there, and then you squeeze it, and it has them little things you can see right there that come out and literally pinch it and just make a perfect connection. Like, it is crazy. I don't know why I wasn't using these a long time ago. Definitely I didn't want to spend the money that these cost, but I will now never go back to, the other ways. Definitely these pins are the ones I like, is the ones like this. And I noticed that these are actually not different sizes, they're a different style. So these are the ones that wrap around. You can see right there, down there, that they wrap around the wire and crimp to it. So not a fan of them. Them are the ones that irritate me. So big fan of these, big fan of these. We were gonna make these little Deutsch connectors, and then I was going to stick wires through the firewall. So I was gonna stick a wire through the firewall and then put another Deutsch connector on it. So I was gonna have a wire dangling out the firewall to plug this into, because that's just what I was thinking was gonna be the best at the time. The problem with thinking is that there's always a better way to do things normally. So I did figure out a way better, cleaner way to do this. And let me show you what I come up with. So we have our plugs. They need to go somewhere. I was thinking wires dangling out. Here's the thing, is we have this plug that goes right there, okay? Now this is how I built mine. I explained to you why I build mine like this, because I hate wiring. So I can go lay this on the bench and add to it. You see where this is going? And then I can just keep these little connectors like this, and they go on a bus bar that's inside here. That way this can easily come in and out of the car, and I don't have to work under the dash inside the car. So this is how I like to do it right now until I change my mind. And because I don't like wiring. I don't want to be working in the car. I'd rather work on the bench. So I was like, crap. I was like, let's tie these in where they pass through the plug that's right there. Okay, why not? So here's what we got. So here's our headlight harness. It goes with the car. So this will plug into the plug right there. And then these connectors will plug into that. So how nifty is that? So I'm really feel good about myself. Really feel like we are stepping this up and starting to get a little cleaner. And I'm pretty stoked. So I've already wired that one. I put some heat wrap over it just to tidy it up so there's not bare wires. This is just two blacks. This is for your brake switch, and there's your line lock. So all you got is a hot in the ground. So pretty simple. So now I'm going to take this to the bench, because that's the joy of having this. I never even screwed it in under there, because I think I actually need another bus bar or a bigger bus bar, because I think I'm out of spots. But we're gonna bring this over here to the bench, and we're gonna add the 4 other leads off of here and terminate them separately, and then that will be ready to go in the car. Let me correct this also. In my other video I said to get this stupid little thing out. What I did was I take a flathead, go in there, and I pried it. Really took some force to get it out. That's because I didn't have the right tool. So when I bought that kit, it come with this tool, and then this side has a hook on it. So this has a little J hook. And what it does is it goes down inside of here on either side, and you basically J-hook it, and then you pull, and that pulls it right out. So it makes a world of a difference when you have the correct tools. It's not as frustrating. It's actually pretty easy, but we all as mechanics know that, but yet we'll still sometimes, when we don't have the right tool, we'll still sit there and fight with, other ways and then get frustrated. But when you have these correct tools, makes the job really nice. So again, I highly recommend this. Let me get this wired up. So there that is. Man, I just can't get over how nice it is. I mean, when you just hate wiring as much as me, how easy this makes things. So we still have to break these off. I'm gonna obviously wire loom these two together because this is gonna be your brake lights. And then I'm going to wire loom these two together because this is your line lock. Buddy, it is Thursday afternoon. I laid down for a minute whenever Harper laid down. I crashed for like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, and then woke up like, you know, where you freak out. You're like, holy crap, because I don't sleep when the sun's up, which the sun's technically going down, but I don't sleep during the day. It's just not me. And anytime I do, I don't know, man. I'm feeling it. I've been at this thing every night pretty much. Last night was like a little later. Normally I try to quit by 10 o'clock, but last night was like 10:30, I think, almost. So back out here again. We're gonna try to get some more stuff done tonight. Just keep combing through this thing, man. We're still trying to make hopefully for the end of June to get headers done, and hopefully straight from headers to TKM for the tune and the dyno. So that's kind of where we're shooting for. So I've got to basically get everything caught up that I have so that we can get into this wiring part. So last night I did put the fuel pump under the car and forgot that I needed another fuel line. So I ordered the other fuel line that we need and ordered the reducers we need because the fuel pump is 10 AN and no, the lines I'm using are 10 AN and the fuel pump is 8 AN. So I knew I wanted 10 AN lines. I'd rather have bigger lines than too small. So my lines are bigger than the fuel pump inlet and outlet, but the thing's supposed to do 800. It's supposed to be able to hold 2,000 horsepower. So I guess 8 AN, 2,000 horsepower, I guess it's fine. But we had to order the pieces for that. So once them come in probably next week, we'll get that underneath the car. I've gotten to measure for the brake line, the braided brake line, to go from the chassis to the rear end. I keep forgetting to do that every single night. But let's see what we got in today. So the other day, this is our pile for today. The other day we actually got in also the other Holly. Inputs and outputs. We got 2 rolls of that split wire loom that I showed y'all. And then today we got in the other input outlet. So these freaking harnesses, $200, $200. That's $400 freaking dollars right there, man, and extra harnesses. So I wasn't 100% sure if I needed both, but John said he felt like I needed both. So I didn't want to, have him come help me if he does. And then, we run short. So here's this plate. So the inside of this is actually spray paint. And then I had a bunch of clear coat left over and decided to throw clear coat over top of spray paint. Somehow it did not wrinkle. Looks like crap, but this goes underneath the dash. You'll never see it. That's the engine bay side. Also looks like crap because I didn't take my time on it. Didn't prep anything. Literally just threw a bunch of paint on it. But y'all know the deal. That thing goes way down there in the engine bay. So it's going to get all tore up and not really get seen anyway. So we're going to get our carbon panel probably drilled and put on that tonight so we can put that in the car, hopefully. Picked up these little brake line pieces from All-Star Performance. So there's the part number if you need anything. They're the mountain tabs. So normally, when you put a brake line through it, how you have, a clip or whatever. So I needed to figure out a way to put a brake line through, something to hold the brake line. I need one up here on this one. That one over there comes straight off of the line lock or whatever. It goes down to that side. But this back here where it goes from the rear end down, I needed something to secure that line. So I snagged these off of eBay. I actually think they were somebody else's used. They look a little old. But it was a really good deal, so I snagged them. And then for the brake lines, I picked up these. You can basically search for the word bulkhead connectors, which they definitely look like the holes are too small, but that's fine. I can put washers on them. But I plan to basically put what they call bulkhead connectors. These are longer on this side, so I plan to basically put them through the brake line connector like that and tighten these down and make my connections. So that'll hold it to the car. This will hold it in there. I struggled a little on figuring out how you do the AN connections with these tabs. It seems like everything that the tabs are made for is always made for that little piece that little horseshoe goes inside of, and the horseshoe, or the fitting that the horseshoe goes in, is never AN. It's always like some other brake line fitting thread to AN. It's never like AN on both sides. So that's the reason why I just was like, dude, I don't want that crap. I didn't see anything that was AN. I looked for a while, and so I said, screw it. I'll just get this bulkhead AN, and, you know, put washers and bolts through it. So it should work out perfect. Got the whole roll of vacuum line, basically a coolant overflow. So we have to go all the way from the coolant tank, like we went to the other ones, all the way under the car, all the way out to the back to the puke tank. So if you price it locally, it's ridiculous. So I was able to get this off of eBay for really cheap. It wasn't expensive at all, and that's going to help us out. So that's all the little stuff for today. We're going to dive right into this. I had a little bit of cheesecake to wake up. We're going to dive right in and try to knock some stuff out tonight. So that's basically what I was thinking. And so we took this one, okay, which is way, obviously, smaller. I mean, the hole is way bigger and the fitting is way smaller. So I just put some washers on it, both sides. You can actually see right there the difference. Okay, you can see the light coming through. And I'm just going to snug that down. So this washer is actually slightly bent from something, but I'm just going to snug that down, and there's our fitting right there, AN 90. So that will come off the car. More likely this side come off the car, and we'll turn this one so that it's pointing down. Actually, it would be the other way, but we're going to turn it so that it's pointing down towards the axle, so the line goes straight down. Let's see here. And I'm going to go ahead and get a measurement on this tonight while I'm out here. Okay, I can't turn it one-handed, but you get the drift. So be mounted on the car, come in on that side, shoot straight down to the axle on that side. All right, y'all, you seen we got that brake line in. So I measured it. It's gonna be 10 inches from the chassis of the car to the rear axle. So I went ahead and put an order in that. So if y'all want to mess around with Turbo John, me and him just had a little chat. He'll know what it means. Go to his latest video and tell him that you're trying to put a rollie on a redneck. I guarantee you he'll be bugging y'all. So I'm gonna keep working though. And if y'all don't know what a rollie on a redneck means, it's a Rolex on a redneck. It's Brantley Gilbert's one of his songs with Jason Aldean. All right, so I think we're gonna put the fender back on this side. We have got everything buttoned up here. So just as you've seen in the last video, we did the brake light connector. Okay. We have it P-clamped up here. Everything runs nice and neat up here, nice and neat P-clamp. We have our Deutsch connectors. Man, I hope I'm saying that right, not making a fool out of myself. They run back in here to the plug. So all of that's ran up nice and neat. Everything's plugged in. All of these connections are made. All of our brake lines, you know, are done. So that one comes out of the car to here. This one loops around to the proportionate valve, which then goes into the line lock, which then branches out, and one goes to that side, and one comes down here and go to this side. I'm pretty sure I won't have I know it looks stupid tight, like it really does, but it does have a lot of slack in it actually. So I will check it again later, turn to turn. It wasn't hitting earlier last time I checked it. So if it is hitting, I'll cut the zip tie and go back to just leaving it loose hanging and pull a little bit more in that direction so that it just curves and it kind of naturally arches and the tire don't hit it. Because you don't want your tire hitting it when you turn the wheel and up and down and travel. You want to make sure that's out of the way. So I'm hoping that it being zip tied back there like that is plenty. I think it should be. We have to get our travel limiters welded on still. I'm just holding off on them because I think I want to do another bolt mechanism down here and put a round bushing, or basically a big fat washer or a sleeve basically the side of the thing, so that a bolt goes through here so you can space it up and down and get a little more space out of it. I'm trying really hard not to order the 2-inch drop spindles because we have got to chill with the money. It is just absolutely ridiculous the amount of money I have spent in the past week. But with that said, remember ours went nice clean through here. I really need to go let me see if I got some gasket maker or something to plug this hole up. If not, I can do it from the inside later. Need to put a rubber garment in that hole really for water also. Anyway, we have everything done right here. So we're going to put the fender back on, I think. hopefully I don't regret this. So put the fender back on, and then I grabbed my welding helmet from the shop. I need to fab up the bracket for this coolant reservoir. So I'm thinking maybe just a 90 off of here will be enough. I don't know. I'm gonna play with that since I've got the welder at the house. But all right, so I've just sat the other fender up here. I haven't put any other bolts in besides the two across the top. One thing I wanted to go ahead and address, because it hasn't been 100% on the money since I did the tube work, I never went and finalized it, is I want to address these fender gaps, okay? So as you can see, you're probably like on camera, they don't look that bad. My pins don't go in perfect into my hood things. They can be bent now. Okay, I do have the push to release ones here. I need to paint these little brackets. I just never did it. I do have the push to release ones, but so they can be bent, the studs that they go on. But if you look right here, what we have is we have a 1/4 inch. Okay, if you cut the tape right there on the inch, there's a 1/4 inch. Okay, so we're looking at a 1/4 inch up here, and then if you come down here, we're looking at, you know, roughly 1/2 inch. Okay, if you cut the tape right there, you'll see shy 1/2 inch. Okay, 1/4 inch out there. Now over here we have a big 1/4. So let's see here, that's gonna be 3/8. Again, if you cut the tape, just to show the people that, you know, might not know, 3/8. And then down here, let's just go ahead and cut the tape for everybody. 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're too big in the front. So the fenders are out too far. Now, I went ahead, let me pick this back up and I'll show you. Actually, let me see if I can show you this on film while I do it. What I did is you pick the hood up, and then you'll just put a pin through right there. Okay, so that's how my hood stays up. I've got the hinges, I pick the hinges up and I drill through them, and then I have a pin, and then I take this clip whenever the hood's up and I just hang it to one of the bars or somewhere up here so it don't get lost. I haven't drilled this side yet, but what you'll do is you'll come in here when this is open. You got a flat spotlight right here. This is a dimple. It's in the center. It's dimpled for strength. So you'll just take a drill bit and you'll drill through both of these pieces of metal the thickness of your pin, and then that's a pull pin. So then when your hood's up in the air, you can just use a pull pin. Now my hood is extremely lightened. We went through this hood on the first walk around video that I did on this car and explained how all of these are aluminum pieces. There's aluminum strip down the side of the hood. You can see up here how all of the structure of the hood is cut out. Okay, you can see right there the cuts. And then if you come down here, you can see all the cuts. This is panel bond. You know, we did not use weld to put that back together. So I went over all of this in depth on my other video about the mounting plates, how they've been switched out from steel to aluminum. I mean, I shaved a bunch of weight out of this hood, and I disclosed the weight of this hood, and I went over the weight that we saved doing all this. So my hood is a lot lighter. It is also, as you can see, a whole lot more flimsier than normal, but it is a real steel OEM hood. It's not no carbon fiber or fiberglass or aftermarket or nothing, but mine don't have a ton of weight, so these work perfectly fine with the pins for me to keep it up. So, and the cool thing about the Mavericks and the Comets is that the hinges bolt to the body of the car, and not, you know, you don't have to take the hinges off to take the fender off. So you can easily take your fender on and off, and the hinges stay perfectly in place, and you don't have to take your hood off. So that's one thing I like about that. But what we're gonna do, I went ahead now and changed out from the Tenderman clips to nut certs. So just a second ago, and I had already done the other side before I put these on, I had just Tenderman clips in, and then this time I changed it and put nut certs in here. Let me get this off. So you can see right there, right now, there's a nut cert through there. So I don't have no adjustment. Now I already did not have adjustment before this. I had just one hole drilled through with a 10-ring clip, so it's not like I had it slotted or nothing. That really needs to be slotted. That's the main thing. But I don't want to have to, every time I put the fender on, if it's slotted, then you have to adjust it to get your gap right. So I think we're gonna go right here between these two, and we're gonna drill a new hole. We're gonna get the fenders exactly where we want them at. So we're gonna close the hood and get it latched. You can see right here, these are our quick disconnects, you know, or push releases. So you can bend this ball, you know, the top of this stud slightly. This one's actually bent. Let's see here if you can see. You can probably see like that, where you can see the bottom and the top. So that's actually slightly bent in some to make it line up from the first time I did it. So I have them bolted all the way through where they are, you know, have them bolted all the way through where they are riveted to the inside of the fender. So it's a nice, strong, extremely strong piece right there. And then the other one for this one right here, this button, and this is how these look from the bottom. They just thread on, and then they're just push button, okay? So there's no Zeus fasteners to deal with. They used to be bolted through here back whenever the first version of this car was built. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and close the hood, get it latched in place, and go from the bottom side of the car, probably reach up here with some kind of vice grips or something where we can hold this thing, or maybe we'll just drill it through the bottom. I'd rather drill it through the top. But we're gonna get this thing basically held in place, lift the hood back up, and then we're just gonna drill one hole all the way slam through, do a nut cert, and then what that will allow is for every time that bolt goes in, it should be perfect, dead on the money, and never have to be adjusted. And then we do need to get these drilled out eventually and put in there, but I don't want to have to bolt these in every single time I take the fender off. So I need to actually come in here with the fender at some point, take the fender back off because I haven't done it yet, and I need to actually notch this out right here so it will clear that stud. I just haven't done it. At some point I will notch that. I should do it at night, but man, I don't feel like making that noise. Maybe I'll go ahead and do this side. Maybe I will take this fender off when I nut cert that. We'll go ahead and cut this side so that one side's done. All right, so after a bunch of fighting with it, we have got where we still have our big quarter. Right here is going to be our 3/8. Right there is going to be, that's a big 3/8. And right there is a shy 3/8. Maybe dead on the money on 3/8. So they are all give or take a 1/16 of a 3/8. So I'm happy with that. I mean, they look good when you look down them. It's not like they look, you know, terrible or anything, but I just try to get my stuff as much on the money as I can. There's no point in not doing it and just being lazy. So I think that looks good. I can live with it. The hardest things with these is getting them little things lined up, you know, left to right, forward and backwards. They're a nightmare. So that one over there, I bent it that way, bent it that way, bent it at 45, straightened it out, blah, blah, blah. Ended up what I did, which I should just did from the start, was I loosened everything up and closed the hood and then tightened it from the bottom side. But what was happening is when you did it like finger tight or snugged it and checked your fitment, opened it, closed it, opened and closed it, then everything was smooth. But as soon as you put a little cranking down on it, since that stud goes down through the fender, and the fender is steel, and it's actually still pretty strong, it goes through the edge of the, like the very edge of it. It actually then wanted to start like moving the stud and pulling it when you tighten it up. So I had to keep putting washers between my aluminum tab and my fender, you know, to help push the steel down, you know, put the fender back down so it don't pull it up when you're tightening it up. Anyway, sometimes it just, when you're dealing with this stuff, y'all, you've got to stop what you're doing, okay? Chill out. Don't get mad. Stop what you're doing and look at what it's doing. It's just like when you're doing collision work. You know, if you're fixing an accident, you want to reverse the accident if you're on the frame machine. You don't want to just start pulling anywhere. You want to pull from the impact point out, or you want to reverse it. Everything else will normally come with it. So just like with this, is if something's not lining up, then you stop and you say, what's going on? And you look at it. And, you know, when you paid attention to that, then you can see that as you tighten it, it's going to want to move it a little. So sometimes you just got to relax, take a look, see what you got going on. That's going to be it for tonight. Dude, it's after 11 o'clock. I've got to go inside, get a shower, and go to bed. Tomorrow's Friday. And I don't have to edit a video for y'all tonight. I've already done my homework, and y'all are already good for Friday night. So I'm off the hook. It's Thursday night. Friday nights is already uploaded. We're filming for probably Saturday or Sunday night. I don't even know when this video is going to drop. But that's it for tonight. So fenders back on that side, fenders on this side, hood's on, hood opens and closes like I want it. I did pull the grill off of it to make it easier to get up inside there and to do the work. So tomorrow or at some point this weekend, we'll get the grill back on it. And dude, we're starting to slowly come through them little tiny bites of final assembly. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you on the next one.